Good morning, everybody. Tess Crawley here, clinical and forensic psychologist and director of Dr. Tess Crawley and Associates. And it's been a little while since I've been live, so I'm actually quite excited to be here with you all again. As you know, I recently finished my 90-day vlog challenge, which was 90 days of pretty much daily video content, and talked about all sorts of different topics, talked about anxiety, we talked about grief, we talked about rural mental health, we talked about a whole range of things. Now, I am just thinking I'm going live to the wrong group. So I'm going to shut this down and come right back at you because I've got a funny feeling. Just bear with me 2 seconds. We'll just make sure that... Oh no, there I am. It's all right. Everything's good. Live. Here we are. Okay, so what I want to do now is share into the professional groups that I've got happening. Because, of course, today I'm going to be talking about a retreat for mental health professionals that I am establishing for winter time next year. A lot of people look to escape the cold in winter time. I'm quite keen to embrace the cold, and I think there's nothing better in wintertime than to be huddled inside near a lovely warm fire with a nice hot cup of tea or a hot coffee and getting some work done. So just bear with me. I've gone into 2. I'm just trying to remember how many groups I need to go into. That's 3. And that's Tasmania private practice. So if you're a private practitioner in Tasmania in any health setting, you're welcome to join the Tasmanian private practice group. So have a think about that. I've also gone into the meeting room, which is our closed group for all mental health professionals Australia-wide. I've shared into Psychology Supervisors Australia, which is the group that is for supervisors, board approved supervisors. And if you're on the way to becoming board approved, then you actually can let me know what stage of training for the board approved supervisor status that you're at. And then we can let you into the group too if you're well into that training program to becoming a board approved supervisor. Now I think I may have got everyone I needed. The Stigma Rebellion, Morning Stigma Rebels, you're all in there. I've got the meeting room, you're all in there. I've got the supervisors group, rural mental health, there we go. Rural Mental Health Professionals Australia. And I think that is everybody in now. So if you're joining me live today, please do say hello. Let me know who you are. Let me know that you're there, because I'm really keen to know who I'm chatting with. It's lovely to have a conversation going. And do feel free to ask questions as we go along, because being a live stream means that you can ask questions. I'm talking into my phone, but I've also got my laptop in front of me, so I can actually see the questions as they pop up. So please do feel free to ask questions as we go along. All right, MidWinter Retreat, what's it all about? Well, you might have seen the post that I put up. Rather cheekily posted at midnight the other night. I have a booking, a standing booking at the Islington Hotel for the middle of winter for a group, and I hadn't decided yet how that was actually going to look, what it was going to be all about. And then Friday night I was just about to head off to bed, and the Islington Hotel actually posted a beautiful photograph of their main library room, which is the room that I used for our team planning day. I can see Gerda's here. Hi Gerda. Thanks for joining me live today. So the Islington Hotel posted this stunning photograph of their library room, and the library is chock full of beautiful artwork, this big long mahogany table with beautiful chairs and a lovely open fire, and they had the table set up for a dinner party, and it just looked exquisite. And that was it. I thought, right, that's it, I've got to make sure that I get the message out that I'm wanting to run this retreat at Islington. So if you don't know what Islington is, if you don't know Hobart at all, so Islington Hotel is just outside the city centre, on one of the main arterial roads of Hobart. It's a beautiful old building. I think it was originally a home, big 2-story place, beautifully renovated, full of artworks and sculptures, beautiful sculpture garden, herb garden. And then they've got at the rear of the hotel, it's a boutique hotel. I think it only has 6 bedrooms, maybe a bit more than that. At the rear of the hotel is this beautiful glass enclosed atrium where they have their breakfasts, and that looks straight at Mount Wellington. So in the middle of winter, with Mount Wellington with snow on it, you've got this beautiful big room filled with sunlight, looking up at the snow-topped mountain. There's a log fire in there, and sitting right next to the log fire, and I love this little detail, right next to the log fire is a big jar of marshmallows. And you can get yourself a little skewer and you can toast your marshmallows in front of the log fire. It's a beautiful location. So we had our team planning day there in the library at Islington in August, and we're going to have another one probably around March. So with this particular retreat, now some of you might have heard me mention that I went to a working retreat in June last year, hosted by the fabulous Gerda, who's with us today. And that retreat for me was, it was the first time I'd been away from my kids for overnight, and I was away for I think 4 nights. And it was, so it took a bit of courage for me, both making the investment in my professional development by spending money to put aside time to travel, to go and stay in this retreat, and then really focus on the work that I needed to do to get this practice up to the next level that I'd like us to be able to achieve, which is of course all about servicing more clients within the Tasmanian community, and for me personally being able to mentor and professionally support more psychologists, both from a student level all the way through to supporting supervisors of psychology. So that's something that I'm very passionate about doing. So for me, having that experience in June this year was a real game changer. It totally refocused me. A lot of opportunities have sprung out of me having that time to really focus on what I needed to do for my working life. So my retreat that I'm wanting to run in early July next year, is about providing clinical leaders, and I'm using the term clinical leaders pretty loosely. I've had sole private practitioners who say, well, I'm not really a leader. It's like, well, yes, you are. If you're working in a specialised field of psychology and you're one of the few people in Hobart, for example, or Melbourne or wherever who works in that particular field, then yes, you are a clinical leader. If you're interested in having students working within your practice, yes, you're a clinical leader. If you're a researcher and you're wanting to focus on a grant application and your grant is all about a research area that nobody else is looking at, well, of course you're a clinical leader. So I want you to think about the term clinical leadership and what that means to you. Don't worry about what it means to me. What does it mean to you? And are you, in your role, getting enough time to focus on what you need to do for your professional development, for your clinical leadership skills, for your team leadership skills? So we need to be really clear. I'm not a business coach. I'm not about, making your business more profitable. I'm glad to say that I always recommend Gerda for that kind of work. My focus very much is supporting you in your clinical leadership role, helping you be more confident in your leadership skills as a clinician and as whether that's in your research. I've been a researcher, I've been an academic, I've been a practice leader now for a long time. I've supervised many students and clinicians. So I think that being able to share some of my leadership experience and help you develop your own leadership style, but also providing the core feature of this retreat is providing space for you in a supportive environment, in an exclusive environment. Let's be honest about it. This is an exclusive experience where you can carve out some time to do the things that you're not getting time to do. It might be that you want to write a workshop. It might be that you want to write a book. It might be that you want to spend some time just catching up on everything that you've been trying to finish off. So having this time set aside just for you, just for your work, just for your professional development, and being with a small group of other people in the same boat. Now, we might all be coming from different perspectives. Some might be academics, some might be private practitioners, some might be coming from the government sector. I don't mind where you're coming from. If you think this is something that's going to help you, then I want to know how I can inject what you need into this retreat program. So at the moment, it's an open slate. It's a beautiful space to work in, and if you just want to sit for 3 solid days and work and just have some colleagues there with you cheering you on while you get your stuff done, then absolutely, this would be a perfect experience for that. If you're wanting some clinical mentoring while you're on retreat, then of course I'd be more than happy to make sure that I set aside time to help you with that. I also have access to, for example, if you're working in a private practice and you're wanting to explore the notions of what it's like to have an admin team supporting you. If you've been a sole practitioner all this time, then I will make my my practice manager available to help you nut out what kind of administrative duties might work within your particular private practice model. So I've got access to, I would make my financial advisor available for you. If you've got a couple of financial pressures that you're wanting to nut out, something that might be a suitable plan for you. Now, that might be just simply who do you need to talk to in your town or your city. That would be a good first step for you. It might be problem solving, how to set up a cash flow spreadsheet to help you manage your budget, things like that. So let me know what might benefit you from this chunk of time that we can set aside in a beautiful location to get you focused on your next level of your working experience, wherever you're from, whatever it is that you're doing in your work. I know from my experience of working in intense work environments such as the prisons, I've worked in 2 different prisons, working in adult community mental health in the past. Sometimes those very intense working environments, you don't get the opportunity to sit back and actually focus on something that you want to do for your own career development or your own professional development, because your job demands are so intense and so crisis driven, and you're always on the fly, if you like. So this is not going to be a structured workshop program. This is not going to be me lecturing at you for days on end. This is going to be time for you to focus on what you need to achieve, and for you to be able to leave the retreat feeling refreshed, having some pressure taken off you, and having a really clear plan of what you're going to be doing next within your own professional development. It might be that you want some help designing a professional development program for your own future year or 2 of working experience. So have a think about it. The retreat really is something that I'm really excited by. I'm excited for a couple of reasons. I'm excited because I've done something similar. The retreat that I did with Gerda was much more around business development and business coaching. But having the opportunity to do something like this from a clinical mentoring perspective would be such a breath of fresh air. Knowing what I know about having done a working retreat, I've never done anything like it before. It was such an experience for me, and really did cement my future direction from a business perspective. And in the coming 12 months or so, I'll be also looking at my own professional direction from a clinical leadership perspective. So I really do know from first-hand experience how amazing it can be to be with a small group of like-minded professionals over a course of a number of days, and really focus on getting yourself sorted, really is what it's all about. So the other reason I'm excited is I'm really excited to meet some of you who've already expressed an interest in joining the retreat. Some of you are people that I might have had contact with but might not have actually met in person. So I already know that some of the people who are interested in this retreat are fabulous professionals, and I'm really excited to be able to do what I can to help mentor them to get to that next stage of their own professional development. So that is really exciting for me. But I think also being in a position to offer something like this in Hobart is a bit of a showcase for Hobart, because of course retreats are, well, professional development opportunities in Tasmania are hard to come by. So I'm excited that there are some local professionals who are interested, but there's also some interstate people who are interested to come and experience what we have to offer in terms of our beautiful accommodation and food and wine, and there'll be all of that flowing at the retreat as well. So if you're tempted, if you're curious, even if you're just wanting to know a little bit more about it, let me know. I'm happy for you to either pop a comment or a question into the comment section here, or send me a private message. That is perfectly fine. Pardon my frog in the throat this morning. So let me know if you've got any questions, and as we go between now and next year, I'll be getting more and more information together for you about the program itself. So it's scheduled for the first week in July. Now, if I bear with me, I'm going to have a quick look on my laptop for dates so I can give you the dates. If we skip through on my laptop here with my diary, and we skip through to July 2018, and I believe it's the weekend of the 7th of July. Now I've chosen that weekend specifically because it is the Friday the 6th of July is the last weekend of the school term in Tassie. Bear with me. And Gerda, I think you will be able to correct me if you have your dates handy, but I believe it's the middle of the school holidays in Queensland as well. So giving that thought in mind, it's not in my diary. Why is that? Because it's in my phone diary. Okay. All right, so the weekend of the 7th of July. So I will be putting those dates up for people to consider. Hopefully the fact that it's proximity to school holidays is helpful rather than a hindrance for everybody. It means you can take some time out from family for a few days. There's not the pressure of, oh, thanks Gerda, she's confirming that school holiday period. Take some time out from family to focus on your work, take some time out from your work to focus on your work, and hopefully they're not having that pressure of school runs and all the rest of that school time stresses. Everyone can just sort of take some time and focus on what you're needing to do for yourself. Now the bonus at the end of the retreat is I am offering 3 clinical mentoring sessions for participants, as a free follow through, if you like, to check on how you're going with those professional and clinical leadership tasks that you've set yourself, whether it's you're wanting to have some supervision around your supervision, whether you're wanting to have some mentoring around how to set up your students within your practice, if that's what you're wanting to do, whether you're just wanting to talk about some case studies, that's okay too. But also just to touch base and make sure that you're feeling that you're maintaining the momentum that you achieved while you're on retreat, and that you can push yourself to the next level beyond that. So let me know if you've got any questions, if you're curious to know more, or if you want to get right in there and say, by hell or high water, I'm coming, don't let anybody else have my bed, then let me know that too. I already have 1 confirmed. Oh, thanks Gerda, thank you very much. I'm really excited actually to offer that support beyond the retreat. I think that's a big part of what needs to happen after something like this. So thank you for your thoughts. I will head off now. I've got some clients today and I've got some work to get done. I have just submitted an abstract for the APS Congress for 2018 talking about rural psychology. I'm also going to be submitting another abstract talking about incorporating provisional psychologists and postgraduate students into private practice, and how other practices can encourage the development and mentoring of junior psychologists through these sorts of programs that I use in my practice. So if you're interested in coming to the APS Congress next year, that's in September, and I hopefully will be presenting on a couple of levels there. And I will speak to you all again soon, no doubt, because I'm looking forward to talking to you more about this and many other topics. So let me know any questions you've got about the retreat, and I will talk to you all again soon. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a fabulous Monday, and all the best for the week ahead as we barrel on towards our well-earned Christmas breaks. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now.